hello. It's Susie here, editor-in-chief of Psychologies magazine, the best magazine in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm here with the wonderful Lucy Griffiths, our Psychologies columnist, an all-round amazing digital filmmaker, whiz kid, brilliant person. An introvert on the team, which is really good. And today we are going to be talking about why now is a great time to discover work that you love, find work that you love, reimagine your work life. Why is now a good time, Lucy?
So I'm going to flip this round because Susie, our amazing, gorgeous Susie, is actually somebody who has really written about this subject so extensively and talked about this and created an amazing course all about how you can love your work. So if you are feeling right now that it is, this year has sucked. Let's be honest. It's been a year that has been challenging for so many people in so many ways. And we understand that, okay? And we're here to support you.
Yeah.
And it might be that you are still lucky enough to be in work, but feeling like you've been rethinking everything that you do and the way that you work, and you want to do something different. So, Susie, what are the times when it's ready to make that leap, when you're ready to make a change? When is that point when you know that you're ready to make a leap?
Okay, I mean, there's various things that can be brilliant for knowing when it is, but I think it's when you have, I call it the nameless dread, when you wake up and you think about working ahead. So on Sunday night, if you're constantly feeling that kind of just sense of heaviness and thinking, well, you know what, I just dread going into work. Another thing is, I mean, I talk a lot about in the Love Your Work course, is who are you surrounding yourself by? Because often what we find is that, if people are your tribe at work, often we spend 90,000 hours at work. And if you're surrounded by people who make your heart sink, who are bitching, who are negative, who are just, who just drain every ounce of your energy. So you might sort of do all your best to be positive and do your affirmations and to meditate, and then you go in and whoo, it's drained. It's really, really rough. The other thing is, I always say is, when people say, oh, how are you? Oh, busy, and you're busy, but you never ever have that sense or that feeling of that you accomplished anything or you feel fulfilled. There's a kind of, I'm busy, but I feel really, really empty. Did you have that feeling? I mean, I know that you've worked all over the world, Lucy, but it's that it feels like, when you're really starving and you eat junk food.
Yeah. I had that feeling on maternity leave, and it wasn't that I wasn't happy with my son. I was immensely happy, but I sort of filled it with going to like baby yoga classes and baby activities. And I was just filling it with kind of the busyness. And it was only when my son and my son first of all, and then I got hand, foot and mouth. I think I've talked about this in the past. Yeah. And we were literally at home and we had to quarantine. At that moment, I had to stop all of that stuff and really figure out what I wanted to do. And it was at that moment I then decided, okay, I don't want to do what I was doing in my previous career. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to set up in business. But you have to take yourself out of that busyness cycle, get off the treadmill. And this year has been amazing for taking you off the treadmill, removing the commutes and all of those things that people use as an excuse of being busy.
Absolutely.
But it's finding your way through that.
Yeah, and it's also a bit of the first of anything is, I think often we go, oh, I'm not going to think about that because I don't know what to do and there's no jobs out there, or I can't possibly do that, and so we just don't do that. So we kind of keep going and just wake up every Sunday night feeling dead. So I suppose with the Love Your Work course, what I've created is a kind of an opportunity to sort of just start swilling around some new ideas in your brain and just dipping your toe into considering, if you did have the opportunity, what would it look like to love your work? And it's so much fun. I've done vision boards, and we've got created, belief experiments. Okay, well, if you were really going to, create the career that you want, what would that look like? I mean, for me, when I was younger, I've changed career 3 times. And so I'm such a massive advocate. I was just a normal girl from the north. And
tell me how you've changed careers 3 times. Tell me that.
Okay, so the first time was when I was working. I ran a translation agency in Leeds, and I was doing really well. I had a company car. I was only young. I was in my 20s. I had a company car, this massive big brick of a mobile phone, because it was a long time ago. And it was great. It was a good job. On the outside, it looked like I was doing well, but inside, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't love it. And all I wanted to do was be a writer. That's all I aspired to do. And so then I took 2 weeks out, went to the Yorkshire Evening Post and said, can I do work experience? I didn't tell my job. I just said, I'm just going to have 2 weeks off. I did 2 weeks work experience and went, oh my God, I love it. I love it. And I got 3 articles published, and it was amazing. I just came back and said, right, I'm going to learn. And I went and did a really short course in journalism, and then just launched myself into be a freelance, and all the doors opened. You know what I mean? It was tough getting my first article published, but one after one after one, they all opened. And for me, it was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I was doing all of that, and it was great and amazing. But then I found myself working really, really hard all the time, 18 hours a day, And I had this belief going on for myself, which was, I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough to do that. Even though I was getting published or whatever, I just had this awful belief inside that I wasn't doing this well. And so, I don't know, I was commissioned by a magazine to do a piece on life coaching when it was very, very, right at the beginning. And I was like, life coaching, what's that? And I got coached, and it was amazing. And I realized, wow, what it was I didn't believe I was good enough to do this. So for me, it was this massive penny that dropped. And from then, I was literally evangelical about coaching, because I just got this massive, like, wow, this is possible for me. And then I went on to be a health editor and a travel editor of national magazines. And it was amazing. And also I thought, I love coaching. So I started my coaching business as well. So I was doing my journalism and I was doing my coaching. And then Psychologies magazine rang me and said, would you like to be editor? And I was like, yes, please. And it was a combination. So I'd never been an editor before. So being a journalist is different to being an editor. So you have to know how to do a flat plan. You have to do all of this. And I didn't have a clue. And my beautiful, amazing team at Psychologies went, okay, we'll show you how to do it. They liked me. They liked my vision. They liked my ideas, and the kind of basic stuff of how to be an editor. I didn't really know how to do it, but they gently, quietly in the background helped me do all of that. And it was amazing. So that's 3 times I've changed career. And now, I just feel like my hair stands on end because I love my job so much. This is an amazing magazine. I'm so proud to be associated with it. And if someone had told me, 25 years ago that this was possible for me, I wouldn't have believed them. But it's about, so how do you create that? How do you create a job that you love, work that you love? And the first piece is just exploring what is possible for you, a vision board, and allowing yourself to dream, allowing yourself to think about that, and then work out the how. So often we go, I can't work out the how, so I'm not going to do it. Don't start there. Start with the big vision. Start with that, and listen to those whispers of your soul, which say, this is awful, and you don't need to do that. And, this has been the big pause. We've all retreated, not all. I know people are stuck, working really, really hard. But this is the opportunity for you at the end of the year to go, I want to love my work. I want to be lit up from the inside out. So, yes.
And this is the thing, that we only make these soul leaps, these in difficult times. We only make when things are challenging, when things are more difficult in our lives. That's when our sort of consciousness opens up, where we're willing to explore and think, what do I want to do differently? What comes next? When we're sort of mind-numbingly comfortable and we're just plodding along, we don't question things. We don't allow ourselves to open up and to take risks and to do new things because it's kind of comfortable, but we're numb. And so these times right now, while it is difficult, and I know it's really hard for so many people, but use this time that it can to open up, to really work out what you do want to do and where you want to take the focus for the next however many years of your life, because you don't have to stay where you are right now feeling uncomfortable. You can make that leap forward, and it starts with a baby step.
Yeah, it does. It's giving yourself space and time. And that's why I'm really proud that we've created, the Love Your Work course. And it's Black Friday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We've not talked about this.
Friday, we're doing an amazing course. And if you look on the link below, I think it's above, we're slashing the course all this week. So if you want to take part and if you want to start exploring this, then do join us. I'm sorry to plug it, but it's an amazing course. It's brilliant. And it will allow you to explore how you're going to spend the next 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or start your own business, or find the things, your work that will light yourself up. And I'm so excited about this course, and that's what I want to sort of beam out to as many people.
And that's the thing. I'd say this, I'm happy what I do and I love what I do, but Susie's course is so transformational. The exercises, I found myself going through them and just having light bulbs, because you just, those moments where it makes you rethink things. And even if you are really happy in your job, but you're almost kind of plodding along, it can remind you of why you love what you do. So you fall back in love with it. It's not necessarily saying, oh, I'm going to become an astronaut. It's more about finding loving what you do, or just maybe it's rethinking what you do, but just doing it in a way that's comfortable to you, that fits with your life and your aspirations. And they might be just to move to the countryside and have work that fits around your life. It doesn't have to be this huge career. It might be that that's not the stage of your life. You're not wanting a big career, but you want something that's going to enable you to have more time for your grandchildren, or just have more time to pursue your hobbies. Whatever it is that's your thing, it's creating work that works for you and your life. And that's what is so important in this peculiar time. It is enabling us to really rethink, how am I going to create a life that I love? How am I going to work in a way that pays the bills and fulfills me?
Yeah, I mean, we think about it, Psychologies, the kind of my life, my way, which is, so it's not about success, that locks you in, that constricts you, that looks like working 8 hours a day. But success, what does success, I mean, that's what we're asking. What does success look like for you in terms of your work? So it is, as you say, it might be that you're not commuting anymore. Although now that people have work from home, it might be commuting, it might be going out a bit, but it's about you consciously going, what, that really doesn't work for me, and what I wanted to be surrounded by more creative people, or I want to go out every day, or I want to be in all day, or whatever. But it's just being able to identify actually what you want, rather than many of us who say, oh, well, I've just got to earn money, And yes, of course, I mean, I'm a single mother, I've brought up my son on my own. Now, it's not sort of I've been swanning around thinking, okay, I was the sole breadwinner in my family, and I had to put money on the, food on the table. So I know what it's like. It's not like it's like a nice to have, I had to work very, very hard to do all of this. But it doesn't mean, so you might as well, if you're going to work hard, you might as well work hard in a job that you love. And it does take time. It does take, perseverance and all of those things. But what I find is when you're passionate about something, you just light up and everybody wants to be around you, and people, it becomes, you attract more things into your life because you're kind of excited and your energy is high. But when you're kind of, oh my God,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing, say for me, I've often at times in my life struggle with the confidence factor, like, oh, I don't feel confident enough to do something. And sometimes that can be a sort of, it's almost like a label, a badge of honor, and it's an excuse to not do those things simply because I'll just stay where I am and just, I'm not very confident. But actually, if you figure out what you want to do, then you have that drive, that gumption, that oh, I want to do that thing. So the fear about not being confident goes away because you found your purpose and you're fulfilling your purpose and you're passionate about it, and everything else goes away. And those stories you tell yourself, you overcome those because you're doing something that you love.
Yeah, and you're internally motivated. So you're passionate. You just drive yourself because you want to, rather than because you think, oh, I've got to do this, which is a really big shift and a really great distinction to make. And I probably didn't know that was possible until actually going on the journey. So what I would like to do is invite everyone to start thinking about that. Do one exercise, if nothing else, which is to think about the 3 golden moments this year that you've really loved your work, and what do those 3 things have in common. So just, that's the sort of exercise that we're going to do. So we're just it's like excavating piece by piece by piece. What are the things that you love? What are the things that drain you? So by the end of our course, you have a real blueprint for what makes you happy, what lights you up, and also a 30-day action plan of the baby steps that you need to make to create the work that you love. Yeah, fantastic. Lucy, thank you so much. Today. Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. Lots of love. Bye bye.